Hello, I am Nicole Hayes, Senior Biology and Environmental Science double major at Capital University. My advisor and Primmer professor, Dr. Christine Anderson, assisted on my project, which was the development of a tree guide for Capital University's Primmer Outdoor Learning Center. Research has shown that individuals who are educated on the environment and have an emotional connection with nature are more likely to take preventative and protective actions for the environment. To achieve this, lesson plans and activities can be developed to promote a connectedness with nature through hands-on environmental education. This is what prompted our development of a tree guide for Capital University's 74-acre property in Hocking Hills, known as the Primmer Outdoor Learning Center. The front portion of the property contains two main trails, the pine and the walnut, which can be accessed by faculty, staff, students, and the general public. The two trails are visible here in Figure 1, with the pine trail on the left in the orange portion of the map, and the walnut on the right in the yellow portion of the map. The goal of the project was to develop a tree guide for the two trails in order to increase the accessibility, visibility, and educational opportunities for those who visit the property. This tool could be utilized to educate people on the importance of the trees along the trails, as well as the benefits they provide for the local wildlife in order to create a better connection with nature and thus prompting individuals to take better care of their surrounding environment. In order to develop the guide, all the trees along the two trails were identified with the help of arborist Jim Sly, and a list was created. The guide was then developed from this list, and information on each tree was gathered. Figure 2 contains a page from the pine trail of the guide, which shows that each tree identified had an identification photo, common and scientific name, environmental benefits section, and a fun fact. For example, the fun fact provided for the black walnut is, black walnut trees produce a chemical called juglone, which can kill some plants. The tree does this in order to create room for it to grow. An example of the environmental benefits is that of the American elm. The American elm is a larval host for various moths and butterflies, including the Columbia silk moth. Along with all of this information, a map of the property, mission statement, rules and regulations, table of contents, and more was included. In total, the tree guide had 11 pages, including front and back cover pages. Upon completion of the tree guide, a Google survey was made and sent via email to all students, faculty, and staff at Capital University. The survey contained demographic, linear scale, multiple choice, and extended response questions. The goal was to gather information on the organization and accessibility of the tree guide, along with background information on the respondents. The survey received 64 responses, with 59.4% student responses, 20.3% faculty responses, and 20.3% staff responses. The responders were from various degree programs and departments across campus. As shown in Figure 3, a majority of the responders did like the tree guide, while a few responded that it's okay but still needs some work. In response to the question, what did you like about the guide? Frequent responses included the fun facts section, identification photos of the trees, general organization, and visual appeal. Figure 4 shows the responses to the questions, on a scale of 1 to 5, how strongly do you feel about protecting natural habitats and parks? And the second question, how well did you understand the guide? The questions prompted high scores of either a 4 or a 5 for the majority of responders. The final question asked if the responder would like to be contacted in the future for a scavenger hunt or other activity using the tree guide, and 23 responders said yes and listed their email. Survey results provided valuable feedback on the tree guide. The results showed that the guide was organized, easy to understand, and enjoyable to read. The two major issues that were mentioned in response to the question, what did you dislike about the guide? Responders stated that the rules were too lengthy and took away from the main purpose of the guide, and some of the text was too small to read. From the feedback given, the tree guide will be revised, then printed, and made available for students conducting research projects, faculty developing course activities, and the general public on site. The goal is to develop an activity such as a scavenger hunt or BioBlitz to utilize the guide, provide an opportunity for more students to visit the property and learn about the importance of biodiversity and the important roles that trees play in the lives of surrounding wildlife, all while enhancing their connection with nature to promote future environmental actions. I would like to thank Jim Sly for his help in identifying the trees along the trails, Carrie and Ian Cheeseman for their previous work on the guide, and the Primmer Fund for providing funding for this project. Thank you for your time, and please feel free to email me with any questions you may have. My email is provided at the top of this poster.